Join the Classic Game Rom community to get your questions answered on Thursday CGR Q&A. The following review has been approved by Lord Carnage and the best of Classic Game Rom. Welcome to Classic Game Rom. You may be surprised to find one of the best action-packed Star Trek games ever created is on your Atari 2600. I absolutely love Star Trek. I grew up watching it on TV. I saw Star Trek 2 and 3 and 4 in the theaters, and spent my formative years traveling with the Enterprise in The Next Generation, but I've never really been a huge fan of Star Trek video games. Because unlike Star Wars, Star Trek isn't just about action and explosions and me hating Jar Jar for all eternity. It's about space exploration, and a lot of deep characters and good writing. How do you turn that into a video game? Well, leave it to the fine folks at Sega in 1983 to do just that. It's Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator. Like throwing a glass of Romulan ale in Khan's face, prepare for the unexpected. I feel like I should do the entire review in Chekhov voice. We're hunting nuclear vessels. What's the best Star Trek movie? I think arguably it's Star Trek 2, but Star Trek 4 is just so damned likable. Transparent aluminum. Need to get me some of that. Everyone remember where we parked. As you can tell, this game is impressive. Most impressive. Not only does it actually look like something, which was impressive in the Atari 2600 days, but it does a couple things simultaneously and does them well. Because you've got a top-down map showing you where the Enterprise is in relation to the enemies, and they managed to give you an action screen on the bottom, which is like Robot Tank or a first-person shooter or flight game. You don't move left or right, but if you see the enemies in front of you on the top screen, they'll be right there on the bottom screen, waiting for you to blow them up with your lasers and photon torpedoes. I'm sorry, phasers and this is Star Trek, not Star Wars. One of them has Captain Kirk, the other has Han Solo. One of them has Lando, the other has Scotty. One series has Uhura, the other has Leia. And of course, we've got Jar Jar versus Star Trek V, which is worse. Wow, Anyway, what you do in this game is blow up all of the enemies, and then, if you need to, you hit that yellow block, which is like Deep Space Nine or something, I guess, and refuel the Enterprise. Each sector plays more or less the same. You blow up enemies, then fly through an asteroid field, blow up enemies, and then you fight V'ger. It's not actually V'ger, but it should be. I love these Star Trek disco visuals, and the music is really good too. What a great game. This took me by surprise because I saw Strategic Operations Simulator and I was like, oh, this is going to be more painful than Season 7 of The Next Generation, but thankfully, it's more like Season 3 of The Next Generation. The bars on the left are your shield and I think your warp special weapon. The blinking, beeping lights and sirens mean that bad things are about to happen to the Enterprise, which means that Kirk has to sleep with an alien woman quickly. But since I don't think there's any of those in this game, docking with the space station will suffice. Before I start going off on more tangents, let me get my Classic Game Rom shout out and thank you out to Gary from Ridgewood, New Jersey! Thank you, Gary, for sending Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator to the show, and he also sent the Atari 5200 version. There's even more of this ahead! Except, hey, Gary, next time you send some live tribbles to the show, make sure you poke holes in the box. The game's arrived safely. But we're up to our knees in dead tribbles, thanks to you. What do you think would happen if circa 1990 Dr. Beverly Crusher walked in on me in the holodeck with circa 1989 Gates McFadden? I think that would be okay as long as 7 of 9 was in the mix somehow. I mean, this is what the holodeck is for. There's no other reason for them to have a holodeck. The Best of Classic Game Rom is now on DVD, Blu-ray, and Hyper Laser Vision album set.